Good afternoon, CPAC Hungary. I am delighted to be here with so many true patriots and lovers of freedom and defenders of life. Thank you, Match Lab, for your incredible leadership. Thank you, Hermano Miklos, for your outstanding leadership and for defending the conservative principles in your country. Thank you for inviting me to CPAC Hungary. And also, I want to thank everyone who got involved in organizing this incredible event. Thank you so much for inviting me. It's an honor for me to be here in Hungary. Gracias. Gracias. I would like to begin by saluting the people of Hungary for standing up bravely for God, family, and country. Hungary is the land that knows that when you strengthen the family, you strengthen the country. With concrete pro-life and pro-family policies, Hungary reduced abortions and reversed the great drop in the birth rate by encouraging young people to believe in marriage and desire children again. Hungary's support for young people to form, sustain, and grow a family has made a powerful difference. And so has Hungarians' reaffirmation of the primary role of parents in the education of their children. For this and more, Hungary and its people have become an inspiration to many around the world. You inspire all of us who defend life and the family in Mexico and throughout Hispanic America, in Europe, and in the United States. Hungary inspires all those who work to ignite hope in the world. And that is why we are all here in Budapest. CPAC Hungary is holding high, very high, a banner of hope in the midst of a darkness that grows and threatens to overshadow everything. We stand today against a globalism that wants to eliminate the deepest roots and most fundamental identities of each of our homelands. We must stop it urgently. We must stop it urgently. To oppose globalism, we must strongly support and defend our belief in God, a culture of life and liberty, and a love for our countries. This is the only path that allows for the flourishing of our nations, for the flourishing of nations and their people. And it is the best formula for peace among the people of the world. Globalism has many gods, and it wants to impose them all on the nations of the world. One of the gods for globalism is the 2030 Agenda of the United States, of the United Nations. We need to end the United Nations. United Nations, in my opinion, is poisoning the world. The 2030 Agenda is one of the greatest enemies of freedom today. It is a cancer that is slowly, very slowly, spreading. Let me mention one example, Argentina, where Chancellor Santiago Cafiero exclaimed, "It doesn't matter which government is in power. Here, the 2030 Agenda rules." It is an agenda that even infiltrates technology, where the new cell phones of one of the most recognized brands in the world now come with a pre-installed app called Goals 2030. Friends, dear family, we know it well. When progressive takes power, they fail totally. That is why socialism is the great swindler of the world's youth. Socialism sells itself as a solution, but socialism leads to disaster, poverty, and death. It starts with the deliberate destruction of the bonds of family and marriage, and it ends by leading the people to total dependence on the state. I come from Latin America, a continent that sadly is falling into the powerful arms of radical left political movements. Many of our countries are suffering the scourge of socialist governments which repress their people and deny them their fundamental freedoms. In many of our countries, the increase of poverty and the growth of massive migration can be clearly observed. On the southern border of the United States and the northern border of my own country, Mexico, The enormous flows of migrants translates into greater deaths and violence today than ever before due to the unpunished action of criminal gangs. The disappearance of men and women, as well as the trafficking of children, it is a humanitarian crisis that must be urgently addressed. Both in the United States and Europe, the advancement of a woke progressive left cancels and criminalizes even thoughts. Yes, in Birmingham, Great Britain, a woman has already been arrested twice by the police for praying in front of an abortion clinic in silence. The same thing happened in February of this year. Also in Great Britain, a priest got arrested for praying silently outside of an abortion clinic. And before, in Liverpool, a 76-year-old woman has fined for praying silently near an abortion clinic. In Spain, 2 elderly men aged 80 and 87 were brought to trial in Zaragoza for giving anti-abortion brochures to people outside of the clinic. And in New York, a priest and 2 lay people were sentenced to jail just months ago for praying in front of an abortion clinic. Today, we are seeing an unprecedented persecution and criminalization of freedom of conscience and freedom of religion. People are being sent to jail for quietly and peacefully practicing the act of thinking, even more, interfaith. The left is on the move, folks, but we are here to tell you, we are the resistance. We are the resistance, and we are not going away. We are united, united as a region and as a continent, showing everyone around the world that a flourishing model of prosperity and freedom runs through the hearts of nations and their people, their proud people. The proud people are willing to stand for God, family, and country. Unity is possible. Unity is possible. And in my country, Mexico, we are working hard to achieve it. Last November, for example, we made history when we hosted in Mexico City the first Conservative Political Action Conference in a Spanish-speaking country. We waited a long time, and at last, CPAC arrived in Latin America to support leaders in the struggle for true democracy and true freedom, and the defense of the sovereignty, culture, and traditions of our respective nations. We are charting a new path for Latin America, and we will not stop, and we shall not yield. We are building up our countries, a new generation of committed leaders who will fight for freedom of expression, religious freedom, and the right to life from conception to natural death. Leaders committed to free economies that are aimed at ending misery and lifting families out of poverty, health and job creation that keep families in their homes without having to face the imperative of risky, illegal, and painful, very painful migration. And public policies in education where parents can decide how to educate their children without undue state intervention. My friends, dear family, I want to make a very special appeal today that we all remember those who are suffering horrible oppression in Nicaragua. The regime of Daniel Ortega has just sentenced to 26 years in prison Monsignor Ronaldo Alvarez, a true hero of freedom. The Ortega tyranny also intends to silence the opposition by removing by decree the nationality of more than 300 opponents, writers, politicians, intellectuals, journalists, and activists. Identity theft followed by the confiscation of their property. It is imperative that the community of free nations be heard and demand the reestablishment of real democracy in Nicaragua. In my own beloved Mexico, violence is the cancer that oppresses our country. In the face of this violence, unprotection is a rule and the greatest threat to our people. Not even the health of the population is protected. We do not have enough medicines and services to take care of all the Mexican families in need. Mexicans are being attacked with policies copied from the worst anti-family and anti-life socialist models. For all these reasons, It is time to act. It is time to change this reality. We will not let the globalists succeed. We will prevail because we have love. Love for God, love for our people, love for our country. So let us defend the traditions and culture of our nations. We can do it. We can do it, my friends. I must say that I deeply admire a nation when it upholds its fundamental values and remains loyal to its origins, roots, and vision of its founders. That is the case of Hungary, a country that was born from the hand, the intelligence, and the heart of a man who deeply believed in God. A brave and fighting man, a skilled politician, and a great statesman, who not only achieved the unity of the territory, he achieved the unity of the people behind the beautiful vision of development and peace, which he succeeded in achieving. Saint Stephen, Hungary's founder, taught his son Saint Emeric that a great ruler should honor all people equally, be merciful and compassionate to those who suffer, be strong, honest, and always working for justice and peace for all. Let's ask Saint Stephen to help our nations work for peace and for the growth and development of our peoples as he did. We are not alone. God plus one is an army, and we are more than one. We are the majority. We are the majority. We are the resistance. We are united. United we win. United we triumph. United we stand. Long live Hungary. Long live Mexico. I'm going to say in Spanish, que viva Hungría, and you answer, que viva, okay? Que viva Hungría. Viva. Que viva Mexico. Viva. Viva. God bless everyone. Thank you very much.